पुरोषोऽहं व्याख्यानम् ईशास्तु छिन्न संशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विशदे भवरोगिणां हृदये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणमूर्तये એટલે અહીંયા ઓછું છે ને. ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् अहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते योपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् page 336 सैव अधस्तात् सोपरिष्टात् सपश्चात् स पुरस्तात् स दक्षिणतः स उत्तरतः सैव इदं सर्वम् इति अथातो अहंकारादेशः एव अहमेव अधस्तात् अहमुपरिष्टात् अहं पश्चात् अहं पुरस्तात् अहं दक्षिणतः अहम् उत्तरतः अहमेवेदं सर्वमिति. So Sanatkumara said, but I'm not saying that. So Bhagava Kasmin Pratishtita iti. Said Narada asked, O Venerable Sir, Saha, that Bhuma, Kasmin Pratishtita, where is Bhuma established? Where is it located? Where is its station? Where does it have its being? Sui Mahimnidi. If you insist upon asking where is Pratishtita, where is established, then I would say that Bhuma is established in its own glory. यदि वह परमार्थमेव पृच्छसि, if you ask me paramartham, in reality, na mahimnyapi, we cannot say that Bhuma is established even in its glory. Iti Bhumaha, this is what we really have to say. Apratishthitaha, anashritaha Bhuma iti kvachidapi. Apratishthitaha, Bhuma is no pratishtha, is not established in anything, doesn't have an establishment where it is established. Doesn't have an ashraya or a locus or a support where it is supported. Meaning Bhuma is self-supported, self-established, self-existing. In the world, of course, what is called Mahima or the glory is different kind of wealth, such as the cattle, horses and gold and elephants and whatever. And usually in the world, an individual such as a Chaitra is established in his own, in the glory, which is defined by his wealth. So Chaitra or an ordinary person is glorious because of something. The Chaitra is established in his wealth, that's the glory. And he remains glorious as long as the wealth is. He is glorious because of wealth and remains glorious as long as the wealth is. And glory is only temporary, is incidental. It is not the inherent nature of this Chaitra, of a person. Glory is not the inherent nature of a person. A person is called glorious because of something which can go away. However intelligent the person may be, however learned scholar person may be, it just needs one head injury and everything goes away. However strong the person may be, the world boxing champion comes Parkinson, is gone. And therefore, Ma Kuru Dhana Jana Yauvana Garvam Harati Nimesha. The idea is that all of this can be robbed away. Whatever is generally called glory in the world can go away, robbed away, is incidental. So Bhuma is glorious not in this sense. It does not depend upon anything for its glory. Glory for Bhuma, being infinite, being abundant, is inherent, is the essential nature of Bhuma. So then, how would you describe Bhuma? So, Kintu evam bravimidi, this is how I have to describe the glory of Bhuma. Sa eva adhastat. Bhuma alone is adhastat, below. Sayeva uparistat, he alone is above. Sayeva paschat, he alone is behind. Sayeva purastat, sah purastat, he alone is in the front. Dakshinatah on the right, Uttarataha on the left. Sayeva idam sarvamiti. The Bhuma alone is all this. So below, above, right, left, front, back, and then everything. Bhuma alone is everything. So Vashyakara explain, Kasmat punaha kvachid na pratishtati uchyate. Bhuma also is glorious. And still you say that he is not established in anything. So how can it be? Because the glory that we are familiar with is like that of a Chaitra or a Tom, Dick and Harry who is glorious because of something. Bhuma is glorious and not because of something. So, how do you say that is so? Yasmat, because Seva Bhuma Adhastat. Bhuma alone is Adhastat, alone is below. So, start pratyay is added there. So, Adha. So, what is Puras Puraha? Then what is Dakshinat? And then the Tas pratyay, then Tas or Taha. What are pratyay is added? So, Dakshinataha, Uttarataha, that Tas pratyay is added there. Then it's a Tasildi. Then here Tas means again it becomes only a Avya. It means below, above, behind, in the front. Meaning na tad vyatirekena anyad vidyate. That's all. The point is that there is nothing other than Bhuma. Saiva idam sarvam. Bhuma alone is all of this. So the Tikakara said, so the question was asked, Nanu dvitiyasya vastuna pratyakshadi pramana prasiddhatvat. We find dvitiya vastu is there. We find there is duality in our day-to-day life. Pratyakshadi pramana prasiddhatvat. It is prasiddha meaning everybody's experience by perception and inference, etc. That there is duality in our life. Then katham tad abhava iti shankare. How do you say that there is nothing other than Bhuma? So here is a contradiction between our experience and what the Upanishad says. How do you say that? So pratyakshadi pratitasyapi atmasakya eva satyena pratitehe atmani adhyastattvena tad vyatirekena abhavat advitiyatvam. Pratyakshadi pratitasya api. So pratita, whatever is perceived by the organs of perception, etc., and then what is inferred and whatever, what is presumed, atma satya eva sattvena. So whatever you think is different from you, and whatever you think you perceive as different from you, atma satya eva sattvena pratitehe. First of all, a thing will become evident to you. You will perceive something provided it exists. Then a pot exists, therefore you can perceive, and a cloth exists, and a table exists, and whatever else. But that something possesses satta or existence, being, is because what? Atma sattaya eva sattvena. It is satta, the existence, that is a self, and that is why everything exists. So, the existence that anything has is only because of Atma, because of the self, because of Bhuma. The Tikakara is Atma Sattaya because the duality is between myself and others, Drashta and Drishyam. So, perceiver and perceived, that kind of duality is what we experience. But what is perceived is because of the perceiver. The perceived has existence because of the perceived perceiver. For example, whenever I look in the mirror, for example, I see something different. I see the two. I see myself, and I see also a Swami in the mirror. So perceptually I see the duality, then how do you say that there is no duality? That is because the existence that the reflection enjoys is my existence. I impart existence to that. It is because I am. So Atma Sattaya eva Sattvena. Therefore, whatever is perceived exists because of the Satta, the existence that is imparted to it by the very perceiver. So then what? Atmani Adhyastattvena. That means that reflection is something that is superimposed upon me. The reflection simply appears as different. But then the reflection enjoys its very existence because of the image that I am. And therefore, that reflection is nothing but superimposed upon I. Therefore, tad even though reflection appears to exist apart from the image, and so also what is perceived, or the drishya, does not exist apart from the perceiver, the drashta. Therefore, perception is not the ultimate means to establish the reality of something. We have to analyze also what is the nature of that which is perceived. And that what is perceived is because of perceiver. Meaning that perceived or seen does not exist apart from the seer. Therefore, Advaitiyatvam. So the question is that we perceive the duality, but not realizing that what I am perceiving is myself. In all the names and forms, what I perceive is nothing but myself. Just as in all these mirrors, what I see is myself. If I do not know, then I may take those reflections as different from me, like a child would do, like a bird does, and keeps on pecking in the mirror, thinking that there is a different bird in there. And so also, we keep on interacting in that manner. Like the dog which went into a mirror room and found dogs all around and started barking and fighting with them, thinking that he's fighting with something other than himself. So, human being, because of ignorance, does not know that what he perceives is nothing but his own reflection. Where the individual's subtle body or the mind becomes like a reflecting medium, and the consciousness that I am is reflected in all this reflecting media. So this is what the Upanishad wants to reveal, that even though there is an apparent duality, in reality there is only non-duality. This non-duality in spite of duality. This non-duality is not the absence of duality, which of course it is, but it is in spite of non-duality. Which means that in the Vedantic language, the duality that we perceive is mithya. And that is called Jagat. So what is Jagat? What is creation? Creation is one becoming many, one appearing as many, not becoming many. And therefore, this manyness is a projection, is an appearance, not a reality. And therefore it is mithya. Yasmat Bhashyakara says, Saeva Bhuma Adhastat. So that Bhuma alone is Adhastat, what is below, etc. Natad Vyatirekena Anyat Vidyate. There does not exist anything apart from Bhuma. Yasmin Pratisthita Syad. If something existed apart from Bhuma, then Bhuma can be established in that. See, for something to be established in something, there has to be two. That a book rests on the table, that means the two entities, the book and the table. So also for Brahman to rest on something, to be located somewhere, to be established in something, there must be Bhuman one and what it is established in. The Adhara, the Adheya and Adhara. Ashrita, Ashraya. Pratishtita, Pratishtha. Only when two are there, then it's possible. Just because two are there does not mean that one is necessarily established in something else. But the question of establishment will come provided there are two. Then possibly Bhuman can be established in something had there been something different from Bhuma. But not tad vyatirekena anyat vidyate. So what the Upanishad wants to say is that Bhuma is all pervasive. Bhuma is the self of all. Bhuma is the very self of all and that pervades everything. So, na tad vyatirekena anyat vidyate yasmin pratisthita syat. There is nothing apart from Bhuma where Bhuma could possibly be established. There is nothing. And therefore, then Bhuma is glorious anyway. It's Satyam Jnanam Anantam and with Maya, I mean, Sagunam. It is omniscient, omnipotent. So where does Bhuma get all this? That is its nature. It's inherent. The glory is inherent in Bhuma. Now the Tikakara Adhastadati Satyam Yantat Prasamantadva. So Adhastat word can be considered as the seventh case, even fifth case, and the first case. Word Adhastat, where the start pratyaya is applied, that word which is indeclinable can be used or is found to be used in all this way. So Adhastat can be below when it's first case. Adhastat means what is located below, seventh case. The context is not here, but from below also it could have been the, but that is not the context here. So Saptamyantat, Prasamantadva, what is Asti Pratyaya? I don't understand the Asti Pratyaya. Because that Asti, I don't know what Pratyaya is that. But then Adhastat, what Pratyaya is only Tat. So Saptamyantat, Adhastat can be Saptam seventh case location. So what is located below? Adhastat would mean. Prasamantadva or below. What is below? What is located below is seventh case. The below itself is the first case. So above, for example, above, the idea of above is first case, that is Bhuman, and what is above also is Bhuman. So first case and seventh case. What is in front? First case, the front is Bhuman, that's first case, and what is in front also is Bhuman. So therefore, below and above, behind and in the front, on the right and the left, all these ideas, the directions also are Bhuman, and what is located in the directions also is Bhuman. So that doesn't leave anything now. If what is located below is Bhuman, but below itself may not be Bhuman. The idea of below may be different. Or if below is different, what is located below may not be Bhuman. If Adhastat is interpreted as seventh case, then it would mean that what is below is Bhuman. But what about the direction below? So there were Prathamanta. First case means the direction below itself is Bhuman. Seventh case and what is located below also is Bhuman. So says Tatasya Adho Desha Tatratyo va Padatha Sarvopi Savayeva iti. Therefore, Adho Desha, the very direction which is below, or the very concept of below, and Tatratyo va Padatha, and whatever Padatha is there below, Sarvopi Savayati. All of this is Bhuman itself. So even the concept of below and above and right and left and front and back, those concepts themselves enjoy an existence which is imparted by Bhuma. And then of course whatever is located in those directions is they also enjoy Satta because of Bhuma. Meaning that Bhuma alone appears as all the directions and Bhuma alone appears as whatever is located in those directions. That leaves nothing other than Bhuma. Iti tat anuvadena bhumatva vidhanat. So, Bhuma is now bhumatva vidhanat. Bhuma is here communicated or enjoined or taught by this anuvada. By this reiteration that what is below and the direction below, etc. That is how Bhuma is described. So, Seva the stat, so everywhere the sa is there, So then there is anuvada, adhastat, uparistat, paschat, purastat. So saha in each case is in fact described with reference to the direction as well as what is located in direction. Therefore, that anuvadena bhumatva vidhanat. Bhuma is taught with anuvada, so with reiteration of each one, everywhere the bhuma is saha is repeated, Then now the question is, how can bhuma be everything? Because everything is all, there is a lot of diversity and multiplicity and disparity. So how do you say Bhuma is everything? Bhuma is one and everything is many and diverse and a lot of disparity. So says Bhadayam Samadhikaranya. So see this Saiva idam sarvam. Saiva idam sarvam. That's a Vakya. So means Bhuma. Bhuma alone is all of this. So this Samadhikaranya means what? This Saha is also Prasamanta. Idam Sarvam also is Prasamanta. So then they are located in the same Adhikaran, same case, referring to the same entity. Now this does not make sense, that one is many. So one and many are contradictory. Simultaneously one cannot be many. This is Idam Sarvam, all this many is from Bhuman alone. So then how do you say Bhadayam Samadhikaranya? Samadhikaranya is there, but Bhadayam, there is a negation involved here. For example, you can say that this actor A alone is beggar B, and king K, and minister M, whatever. So A alone is B, and K, and M, and N, and whatever. How can it be? How can one be all this king and beggar and everything also? Provided the king and beggar are all superimposed and not a reality. Therefore, the so-called beggar has these two aspects in there. Actor is there and then the costume is there. One is real, other is mithya superimposed. Therefore, when you recognize the oneness of the king and the beggar and the minister, then something happens in our mind. What do? We discard in our mind the costume. So whatever is different in all of them, the viruddhamsha, that is discarded. So then this actor is a beggar, this beggar is actor, That can be recognized provided the beggar is let go, beggar is negated, the beggar is understood as mithya. So, this actor is beggar is also samanadikaranya. But actor is a rich person and beggar is a poor, So how can they be one? Two contradictory things? Because one of them is real, other one is unreal. So beggar is negated. That's called badha. So badhayam samanadikaranyat. That's called badha samanadikaranya. There's a mukhya samanadikaranya and badha samanadikaranya. So sthanurayam purusha. This post is the ghost. The post and ghost cannot be one, cannot coexist. Therefore, the ghost is a superimposition. The post is real. And so, when the Satyam comes with the costume of Mithya, that's how Bhuma comes before us only. Bhuma becomes a matter of our experience only when Bhuma appears before us in the costume of Mithya. Because what Pratyakshadi Pramana, the means of knowledge such as perception, etc., can only reveal what is Mithya. Cannot reveal Satyam. Meaning that consciousness cannot be revealed by the means of perception because consciousness cannot be perceived, cannot be objectified. It's a very subject, the content of the subject. So what we see is all mithya and think that consciousness is many. No, that's our conclusion. That Atma is many. What is many is the names and forms are many, upadhis are many, costumes are many. From there we automatically conclude that Atmas are many, consciousness is many. So that is where the problem is. If manyness was real, then manyness would not be a problem. What is real cannot be a problem. So if you were really different from me, and I was different from you, that if Yusmat Asmat Pratyay Go, what is Gochara? So what is referred to by you and what is referred to by me were really different from each other, then there would not be a problem. But they are not different and I take them to be different. That is where the problem is. So reason why Vedanta has to make it a point to reveal the non-duality is because duality is not real. What is not real is taken to be real by us, and then all conflicts come because then the second one becomes an object, is potentially a source of fear. Nityanadvai bhayam bhavati. So when something stands apart from me, excluded. So when I exclude something and something excludes me, that mutual exclusion is called duality. Two is not duality. But then, meaning that my reflection on myself is not duality. But another person, I am not that and that is not I. So that mutual exclusion is called duality. And that is what causes all the conflicts in our life. Everywhere, same problem. Every problem arises from this fellow is a bhakta and this fellow is a jnani and this fellow is this and that. Everybody, everywhere problems. This is different and that is different and this is so and that's how it goes on. So Siya Ramay Sabajag Jani Karo Pranama Jori Jugapani is one thing, supposedly, but then still this difference in the mind continue to remain. That oneness is a nice thing, but it is not recognized. And that is what causes all the problems everywhere. Therefore, Vedanta provides a fundamental solution of all the problem of grief and sadness and conflict and whatever problems there are anywhere in the world of any nature is all creation only of the Dvaitam or mutual exclusion, duality. If duality is not there, if I am there, I can never be cruel to myself. I can never, have any attachment or aversion for myself. The attachment also calls for something different from me. And aversion, of course, calls for something different from me. Tato na vijugupsate. When they see there is no jugupsa, there is no aversion. Person becomes free from all aversion when person sees the same self. And so this is the meditation. Anybody who comes in my mind, make the mind and see this is myself. This fellow, yes. In that, but what is the difference? Only the costume is different. But then it's a mirror. Different mirrors are there. So the variety is all in mirrors. What is reflected is myself. So, but this is such a sophisticated solution that in spite of years and years of this study and so forth, it does not sink because the idea of duality becomes so deeply rooted that I am not you and you are not me, so deeply that begins all competition, everything begins. Comparison begins, jealousies begin, competitions begin, everything begins. Unfortunately, the whole world encourages that. Success is when you compete. And when you, at the cost of somebody else, you go ahead. Or you keep that's all winning game, everywhere. The competitions are there, the sports are there. And so win and loss is there, and hurt and things are there, and that's how everything is. The sport is no more a sport to enjoy, what you're doing. It is how to win, that's all. It has its own advantages, I will not say that, but then still, ultimately it only causes hurt and disappointment. What else to do, I don't know. That we have to find out a new system of how to enjoy the sport without being disappointed with defeat, etc. And so not glorify the victory and not despise the defeat. But unfortunately, the idea of victory is what motivates the person because it's ego that is always emphasized. And the moment you give the promise of victory and all kinds of temptations and benefits, glorification, then person wants to be victorious. So what we are doing is the whole basis of our life is just based on a wrong thing, therefore wrong concept, and therefore it's always damaging. Of course, the person who wins is in euphoria and therefore, but how long will that last? As I gave the example some time ago, that Usain Bolt is the fastest runner in the world from Africa, I think, yeah. Jamaica, yes. Jamaica. But he's not, he's always watching every race and track that is going on. That nobody should, better his record. Not only he is the best in the world today, but he wants to remain best forever in history also. So your ambitions always grow. You're not satisfied by being best in the world today or from the past, but you want to be best for all the time to come. That nobody will know. So every day something goes on somewhere in the world, he has to watch what's happening. What's the record? Anyway, as I said, the rules of the game have to be totally different. But these are the rules of game, all based on only gratification of ego. The only happiness that human being knows is happiness that comes from gratification of senses and gratification of ego. Of course, there is aesthetic pleasure, etc. is there, no doubt about that. But mainly, it is gratification of ego. Everywhere the ego comes. Whether you are a musician or whatever it is, everywhere competition goes on. And everywhere, so anyway, the thing is, the solution to this problem is what Upanishad provides, that huma vyatirekena abhava dvitiyasya siddhyate badhayam samvega. If you have badha, Or everywhere negation must take place. Then only there is identity. Apparent duality. Because duality is apparent, therefore it and then non-duality. So, bhuma vyatiregena abhavaha dvitiyasya siddhyate. Therefore, what is called dvitiya or the second one, of absence of that, siddhyate is established when we recognize that the duality is mithya, is superimposition. Only mithya can be negated, understand. We cannot and should not negate what is real, that also we do. Because of the ahankara, we negate what is real also. We negate the whole person. The whole person doesn't need to be negated. Only part of it is to be negated, not the whole. We throw a baby along with bath water. So that's what we do. Either negate everything or embrace everything. Says Anandi Uktamevartham Vyatirika Vivranate. Uktamevartham. What is said? Vyatirika Vivranate. Bhashyakara explains Vyatirika. Means the absence of something. Or the same as the Uktarthasya Prakruta Upayogam Darshayati. That's how the other Tikakara says. What is Prakruta? Prakruta is that na pratisthita. So Bhuma is Swe Mahimni, na Mahimni pratisthita. He is not established anywhere. Okay, so that is that Bhuma is not pratishtha at all because Bhuma is non-dual and therefore that's the so Yadiva Namahimni, right? So that Bhuma is not established, that's the Prakruta. Namahimni iti, that Bhuma is not established in any glory. So this non-duality, how is it useful in proving that, in understanding the statement? That Bhuma is not established in Arada, Bhuma is established in one glory, or Bhuma is not established in any glory. Not established. That's Prakruta means that is the point under discussion. Upayogam. So how this vision of non-duality becomes upayogi, becomes helpful in explaining that statement. Uruktamev artham vyatireka dvara vivranati. So uktamev, the artha that is said, same thing, namahimneti, vyatireka dvara, by vyatireka, Bhashyakara explains, saditi. So on the page 337 we are told, okay, one sentence is that, tatha uparishtat ityadi samanam. So adhastat, uparishtat, everywhere, the upari deshaha tatratyava padarthaha. The direction and the objects there. So the same way this will be explained. Continuing. Sati bhumnaha अन्यस्मिन् भूमाहि प्रतिष्ठितः स्यात् न तु तदस्ति सति भूम्नः अन्यस्मिन्. So this is Vyatireka. Had there been something different from Bhuma? Anvaya cannot be because nothing is different from Bhuma. So Vyatireka alone can be there. Had there been something different from Bhuma, Anyasmin Bhumahi Pratishtita Syat, then Bhuma could possibly be established in something which is different from Bhuma. Had there been something different from Bhuma, Bhuma could be established in that which is different. But there is nothing other than Bhuma. Bhuma is non-dual. Then Bhashyakara says, Saevatu. So that's from Shruti. Saeva is Saeva tu sarvam or idam sarvam. Saeva, Bhuma alone is all of this, nothing else. Bhuma alone is all of this, and none other than Bhuma is all of this, and Bhuma is indeed all of this, and nothing else. अतः तस्मात् न क्वचित् प्रतिष्ठितः. Therefore, asau bhuma. This bhuma na kvachit pratisthita. Kvachit means the seventh case. Nowhere is bhuma established. So namahimneti, that's what the statement is explained in this way. That is not established anywhere. Meaning that the mahima or the glory is the very nature of bhuma. Now the other Tikakara in the line 11 takes up a long discussion here. Saevatu iti. He alone is everything. Sarvatah dharadishu yad vardate tatsaram saeva iti anvayah. Sarvatah, all around. Dharadishu, on the earth, etc. So below means what? On the earth. Above is in the space, on the right and left and, front and back. So dharadishu means all, below and above and front and so yet vartate, whatever exists, any direction. Tat sarvam seva. Those very directions are Bhuman, and whatever exists in all those directions also is Bhuman. Iti Anvaya. So that's how the Anvaya is. So Sarvataha is what? Uttarataha, Dakshinataha. That is where Sarvataha comes. So Sarva, Dakshinataha, Uttarataha, same as Adhastat, Purastat. So what is Sarva? The below, above, behind, front, right, left makes up Sarva. So Sarvataha means everywhere. Sarvataha, dharadishu, everywhere, below on the earth and everything in the sky. Yad vardate, in all the directions, whatever exists, tat sarvam saevayati. All of that is indeed that Bhuman alone. Iti Anvaya. एवं जगतः भूम्नः अन्यत्वाभावेपि जीवः भूम्नः अन्यस्यात्. Okay. So this covers what? Jagat. Above, below, all around, the Jagat is included. All of that is Bhuma. Evam, in this manner, Jagatah Bhumna Anyatva Bhavepi. So, Upanishad says that whatever is anywhere is nothing but Bhuma, and therefore the Jagat is not apart from Bhuma. That is clear. But Jiva Bhumna Anyasyat. What about the Jiva? The individual self can be different. Still is not included. See, above and below includes everything around me. Does not include me. So when we say that what is above and below and right and left all is Bhuma, and still it leaves me out. You always say all of this is Brahman, okay, but that still we leave ourselves out. So therefore, then Jivo Bhumna Nisyat. The Jiva can still be different from Bhuma. So, Bhashyakara takes up that ahankaratmatva updeshasya vipravadete. Then Bhashyakara says, next one is athato ahankar adesha eva. So thereafter, Upanishad says that now we will give the adesha. So Upanishad says here is the adesha of the teaching, instruction, with reference to ahankar. Or as ahankara to be explained. So saha, that is in the front, that is, so saha it refers to something which is remote, by the way. Aham is, of course, a paroksha. Saha means that. And that pronoun that refers to something which is a pratyaksha, paroksha, different from me, remote from me. So therefore, he is everything when we say that, then still that excludes me, therefore it may live in my mind. The idea is that everything else is Bhuman, but I am not Bhuman. So therefore, the next one is Athato Ahankaradesha eva. Then thereafter is Adesha or instruction is with reference to Ahankara. That Ahankara is Jiva and that also is Bhuman. So that's the idea here. So Bhashyakara says, Yatra Nanyat Pashyade Iri Adhikarana Adhikartavyata Nirdeshat Saiva Adhastat Iti Cha Paroksh Nirdeshat Drashtuhu Jivat Anyo Bhuma Syat Iti Ashanka Kasyachit Mabhut Iti Athatah Anantaram Ahankaradeshah Ahankarena Adishyade Iti Ahankaradeshah Drashtuhu Ananyatva Darshanartham Bhuma eva nirdishyate Ahankarena Ahamev adhasthar ityadina. So athato ahankaradesha. So now same instruction is given with reference to ahankara or aham. So what is it? Ahameva adhasthar. So from Seva Dastat, it comes to Ahameva Dastat. So Bhuma is, and now Bhuma I am. So first Bhuma or Ishvara is known as everything. But then second step is what? Ahameva Dastat. I am Bhuma, I am below, and I am above, and I am behind, I am in the front, I am on the right, I am on the left. This is the most important equation that Vedanta teaches. Because whether it is Brahman or Bhuma, whatever word is used, it is the nature of our mind always to look upon that as different from me and create a picture about that. So Bhuma also there may be a picture in my mind or a concept in my mind, and then it's always different because that is my. Our orientation is to look at everything as different from ourselves and ourselves different from that. So I may imagine Bhuma is very glorious, it's here, there, and everywhere. But still, I'm left out. So then the equation is complete. Ahameva dastat. Don't think that Bhuma is something different from you. That I am below and I am above and I am behind and I am in the front. I'm on the right, I'm on the left. So wow, what was the need for saying that? As I said, because I would have a tendency to think of Bhuma also as different from myself. So when the word Bhuma is used, it is not, I don't equate it with I. I do not equate anything with I in my mind. That is my orientation. I is I. Everything else is different from I. Even Brahman also, Krishna also, whoever it is, always are thought of as different from I. Right? Then I may be a servant, I may be anything, whether I'm a bhakta, I'm a sakha, I'm a sevak, whatever I am. Bhrutyasya bhrutya, whatever I am, but still different. And therefore, uh, in order to eliminate that idea, therefore, ahameva. So ahankara adesha it says, but then it says ahameva dastat, ahameva purastat, ahameva paschat, ahameva purastat. Oh, other, ahameva dastat, ahameva uparistat, ahameva paschat, ahameva purastat, ahameva dakshinatah, ahameva uttaratah. Ahameva idam sarvamiti. I alone is all this. That's a big step. that requires me to let go of all my complexes. All kinds of complexes I'm entertaining about myself prevents me from seeing these things as aham. And how does the complex arise? Complex arises on account of looking on myself as simply confined to this body, mind, sense, that's what I am. Is the identification with this body, mind, sense complex that creates a sense of individuality, sense of confinement. That I confine myself to only this body, mind, sense complex. That's what I do because of ignorance. And so, that being the case, that very idea has to drop. Only when, so that is what creates all complexes. The identification with body creates own complexes, and identity with the mind creates other complexes, the intellect other complexes, because everything is limited. And therefore in the idea, every idea I have about myself, every concept I have about myself is also called a notion about myself, always reveals, but it involves a sense of limitation about I. We cannot escape regardless of what I think about myself. However great I may be, but the limitedness is always involved in every idea which arises from identification with this upadhi. One cannot escape that. You can say, I am the greatest, I am the strongest. Okay, the body is the strongest and I am most intelligent, whatever you are. And still, the idea of limitedness can never leave us. Therefore, the only way is to recognize everything. So, when all those things are given up, all complexes, that's called Antahakana Shuddhi. The purification of mind is the mind becomes free from all these complexes. Because identification of upadhi creates ragadveshas. And freedom of ragadvesha comes only when the identification of upadhi becomes, finer and finer. It cannot be that I have a strong identification with this body-mind complex and I am still free from ragadvesha. It's not possible. So that is why to become free from ragadvesha, Lord Krishna says, identify with Ishvara. Ishvara buddhi, identify with Ishvara. Being Ishvara in your life. More of I, more of Ishvara, less of I. So that's how that process has to happen. It is not that someday I saw everything. You can't see. Unless all this has been driven out, unless Ishvara comes in our life and pervades our life, and Ahankara becomes so fine, that it can be dropped. But anyway, so what Upanishad reveals is the most sophisticated thing, is most wonderful thing. People, those who have been exposed to these are just wonderstruck and they are so gratified. Wow, this is what it is. It's like, what a sense of gratification, what a vision this is. Because it reveals my dimension. I'm not this helpless little thing that I think I am not a creature. What is my dimension? That's a huge thing from where it happen. It is a process. Meaning that I keep on expanding and stretching my ego. That's where the identification comes, that's when karma yoga comes. That I offer myself to whoever I'm serving. That offering is nothing but offering of the complexes and the ego, which culminates into recognizing that I alone am everything. So then this teaching is kept in mind. That becomes a basis for living your life. Even bringing life, identification, being a contributor, all of things jagatyan. That karma yoga will make sense only when this is ultimate vision. The person can be karma yogi provided he has this ambition or he has this vision that this is his goal. Then only it's possible for you to just give up things. You cannot give up things by remaining a limited, but only when you realize that limitlessness is your nature. Holding on to things, limited things only restricts me. It's a burden on me. So when they climb the mountain, they realize how everything is a burden on the backpack. They start dropping things, including that last apple. So that also is dropped because that also is a burden when you go up there. So that's called the Bhada Samanadhikara of negation process. That's all burden. Every complex about I is a burden. So if that vision is kept in mind, then alone there can be an incentive that, oh, this is what I am really. Not only I take myself to be, then alone there is an incentive or a motivation to become free from these shackles. And all these things that are holding on, I'm holding on to, by my possessions, my this, that, X, Y, Z, all of these are limiting me. What I look upon as my source of security, in fact, are all limiting me. They're not providing security, they are in fact a burden on me. If we recognize that, then there will there's no competition in life, and there's no ambition in that sense that I must be ahead of somebody else, etc. Stuff is not that. But anyway, the way we are oriented towards always becoming better than somebody. Then only there is satisfaction. My satisfaction does not come from what I am. My satisfaction comes when I'm better than somebody else. And that's the problem. So that's the orientation we have, from the childhood in this world. And that's what we see everywhere. And we get trapped into that. But anyway, and so poor Vedanta students also don't become free. As long as that orientation does not go, so long you cannot become free. Anyway, so aham eva idam sarvamiti, I alone am everything. So Bhashyakara said, yatra nanyat pashyati, iti adhikarana adhikartavya nirdeshat. Yatra means where one does not see the other. Where again is seventh case. Adhikarana saptami, location, where? So Bhuma is location. Bhuma is that where one does not see anything, understand? Bhuma is where one does not see anything other than oneself. So adhikarana, adhikartavyata, so everything is located in Bhuma. Or seeing, not seeing, I the seer. I do not see anything other than myself in Bhuma. So Bhuma is where I am located, in Bhuma. So Bhuma is what? Adhikaranam. Who am I? I am adhikartavya. Meaning the support and what is supported. Locus and what is located. So Bhuma is a location where I do not see anything other than myself. That means I and all of this is different from Bhuma. So Bhuma is location, I am located. Location is called Adhikarana. Location is called Adhikartavya. Here Bhashyakara says Adhikarana, Adhikartavya. What is the location? What is located? Ashraya, Ashrita. The support and what is supported. Then when that very yatra, see the every word creates immediately in our mind an orientation. Bhuma, where one does not see anything other than oneself. Where? So my mind notes that. Bhuma is that where one does not see, where I do not see anything other than myself. So Bhuma is where I am located. Bhuma is Adhikaranam, I am Adhikartavya. So I am still different from Bhuma. Nirdeshat, number one. Then Saivadastat, Sauparishtat, he alone is below, he alone is, that is he. So Bhuma is he, again different from me. So Saivadastat it is a Paroksha Nirdeshat, because Sa means that, which is a pronoun which stands for Paroksha, something remote from me. Drashtuhu Jivat Anyo Bhuma Syat. I am the Drashta, located in Bhuma. So that location is different. Aham located is different. and he is all of this, and I am different from that. So drashtuhu jivat anyah, drashtuhu jivat anyo bhuma syat. That jiva, who is a drashta, is different from bhuma. This is again from these words will come up with only this kind of conclusion. That bhuma is limitless, bhuma is abundant, bhuma is all pervasive, boundless. But I am different from bhuma. So I always talk of bhuma as something different from myself, as glorious, as great, as all pervasive, as self of all. But I am not that. So in spite of all the attempts on the part of Upanishads of describing bhuma, including Sarvayadastat, he alone is everything. And still, Trashtuhu Jivat Anyo Bhuma Syat, still my conclusion can be that Bhuma is different from me, or I, who is a drishta or seer or perceiver. Iti Ashanka Kasyajit Mabhut. This conclusion, someone may not arrive at that conclusion. The words are sufficient for us to give up the I. Meaning, when we say that Bhuma alone is everything, that should include I. As Swami always used to say that if Brahman is limitless, then limitless has to include I. It cannot be separate from me. But then we always think of limitless as limitless, I as I. If you recognize what is limitless, then if I look upon limitless as different from I, then that also becomes limited, but I don't realize that. Because looking upon I as a limited entity, that is so strong, that orientation is so strong that even limitless also is automatically taken as something different from me. And therefore that duality or division between the drashta and bhuma doesn't go. Otherwise each one of these sentences is adequate. To remove all duality, if you really probe into that. But superficially, yatra is there, because some words are to be used, saha is there, and therefore one may continue to think that oneself is different from bhuma. Iti ashanka kasyajit mahabhut, that one may not come up with this conclusion, one may not really ultimately conclude with this conclusion. Iti, therefore, Upanishad athato, atha means anantaram, thereafter. So having given the instruction with reference to bhuma now, you are giving the instruction with reference to aham. Ahankaradesha. So what is ahankara? Ahankarena adishyareti ahankarad, not ahankarasya adesha. This is not instruction about ahankara. This instruction through ahankara or as ahankara, ultimately you say. Ahankarena can be through ahankara, even instrumental case, ahankarena, by ahankara, through ahankara. Or it can be Tambhuta Trutiya, in which case as ahankara. So, the Tikakara will explain ahankara rupena ityartha. So, ahankara rupena adishyate. Ahankara adesha means what? Ahankara rupena adesha. Not ahankarasya adesha, not ahankarena adesha even, ahankara rupena adesha. As ahankara now I will tell you. As ahankara, not through ahankara. Drashtuhu anyatva darshanartham, drashtuhu ananyatva darshanartham, bhuma eva nirdeshyate ahankara rupena. So as I, the instruction is that I is below and above, etc., etc. And so, what is bhuma also is below and above. I also is below and above. Therefore, I cannot be other than bhuma. There cannot be two entities that are all pervasive. And therefore, thus to ananyatva darshanartham, bhuma eva nirdeshyate. Bhuma alone is nirdeshyate. Alone is shown here. Ahankarana, as ahankara. Therefore, ahameva dastat ityadina nirdeshyate. That I alone is below, I alone is above. In this manner, ahankara is shown, bhuma is shown as very ahankara. And that's how to erase any kind. So conceptually, there is no distance really. But this is all in my mind, created by my mind. Unfortunately, the distance I create by my mind is enough for me to suffer all the consequences of the distance. Even though really distance is not there. Even though this person loves me, the person is my friend, but I think he doesn't like me. I say, look at the way he looks, he looks there, whatever. Immediately, it doesn't matter what the person is. What matters is what my perception is. Ultimately, what matters in our life is our perception. And basically, perception about ourselves. And that gives rise to the perception about others. So therefore, that is thought to be changed. The perception about ourselves is thought to be changed. And so, because we generally do not let go of that perception that I am what I am, then Bhuma can be everything. Bhuma is limitless, fine. Bhuma is self all. Still, I am what I am. Not, of course, self of me also, but then still. So, therefore, this specifically said, so ahameva dasta. I am alone. I am alone below. I alone am below. I alone am above, etc. Ityadina bhuma eva nirdishyate. So, aham, bhuma alone is nirdishyate. As aham, bhuma alone is shown. So, this Bhashyakara's thing that aham is bhuma. The Tikakara will explain it somewhat differently, but say bhuma eva nirdishyate. Ahankarena ahameva dasahityana bhuma eva nirdishyate. Meaning that Upanishad clearly shows the non-duality between bhuma and aham. Okay, we'll continue. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं